Okay, so we're back another day at the garage, completing the timing. Well, completing the motor in general. We had a few things left on the list. I don't know where we left off at because I'm just recording at this point. This is a new list that we created. We had timing there. We did the water pipe. Core plug is what we're missing. I think I arrived today at Subaru. I got the email. Found out I'm missing one more thing. I ordered it, so it's gonna come tomorrow. Install the install the headers. Spark plugs, we're gonna put that for last because we gotta prime the oil pump. It puts on less friction on the motor as you're priming it. Also, I read and watched. We have clutch and flywheel that's left. Oil filter, which is gonna be the last thing we put in when we're priming the motor. We don't want the oil filter in it. Transmission mounts last. Coolant, it's definitely last. Downpipe is gonna be one of the last things. So all we technically have to do before we put the motor in, the core plug for the rear, the headers, clutch and flywheel, and that should be it. And that's all we need to put the motor back in, and little miscellaneous things that we do have to add on. Like I was just adding on this new IEG stainless steel line. I should have shown it, but I kind of lost my GoPro for a minute, and I found it and then I charged it because it was dead. So lastly, Freddie left. He got to New York Monday at 3 a.m. He got to New York. He was supposed to work that day. He went home. He ran into a lot of issues with his exhaust because it does hang low. He spoke with his fabricator. They're gonna try to build a bracket for it and restore the exhaust, because by the flanges it kind of bent or scraped. It's gotten so worse since the drive from here to over there. He was gonna take the Amtrak. However, he needed to get to work on Monday. So that's the only reason. If he was going to call out Monday, we could have kind of got him on the Amtrak Sunday, and it would have been less of a headache for him, as well as the tickets were very high. On top of that, the next thing was going to be to have it transported over there. Cost about over $1,000. He did get home. When he was going to work, 2 bolts backed out on his control arms, which then threw off his whole alignment, toe, and everything. So he had to stop and put 2 bolts back in. Thankfully, I put them in a bag and labeled them for him. He was able to put 2 bolts back in and get the car back home. And lastly, we have my motor, which is the last project to get running. What we were missing was timing. A bunch of miscellaneous things, such as this oil line right here. I put new copper washers. Never bad to have copper washers. I painted the bolts a little bit, so I forgot to put that in, so I had to take this whole side apart and put that in, put it back in. Those 3 bolts here, 1, 2 behind it. I think 10 millimeters or 12, one of those. Don't quote me on that. Did the tensioner, and timing was the last thing I just did just now. It took me about 10 minutes, I want to say. Isn't the best solution. I had a cam lock tool that I was going to use this from Company 23. However, it's the cam lock 1, version 1 for the regular bolts, but I ordered FU bolts, so that's the only problem. The cam lock version 1 doesn't work. You got to get the version 2. On the markers, as you can see there, it's marked right there, right here, right there, right there, boom, boom, boom. And I was gonna remark these one more time, but I used, these are 70 millimeters, so I used 2 ratchets, which are right here, and my little breaker bar and my ratchet. I held both of them and I was just turning them till they were able to lock in with the belt at the same time, which was very, very difficult. I do not recommend it for anyone. It spun over a couple times on me and I wasn't able to get it the first few tries. I think it was about my 4th try I was able to get it. I put this one on a lefty-loosey because it spins that way, so if I had a lefty-loosey, it wasn't gonna spin. When it did spin that way, it would lock, so I was holding it on right there and I had it just right. The IEG, so I took the bolt out of here, used that there. With this, there's 2 washers there that come with this kit. With the line goes over here. I connected the banjo over here, over here with some washers, and here I only have tape on it because I was tightening it and I didn't want to ruin the paint on it. So then we got this line and it goes over here. I then plug this one up with this because nothing's going there anymore. Other than that, we're waiting for this breather hose over here, right here. so it's nighttime. As you can see, we had to redo timing once more. I ended up buying a deco marker to mark all the cams, and the reason we had to redo timing is because we forgot 2 bolts back here to put on the timing cover in the rear, and it ended up undoing the timing, so I had to redo all of this. We did 28 foot-pounds on this, did 22 on all the cam bolts, and 45 degrees over. It was difficult, but I did have the company 23 tools to help me out. Other than that, these two are 28.8, which I'm about to do, and the GoPro died on me because I left it on. So far, let's update the list. We did timing, we got the core plug now, we're gonna work on that last. We have to do this, the headers, but the exhaust manifold, whatever you wanna call it, and we should be done after that. There's one last thing I gotta do. So we're back on the motor, and I bumped into this one issue, which is this cover is still stuck with a nut in the back. Other than that, we have everything. Our breather hose over here came with the 2 clamps. They look like special clamps. This here, part number here, that's what goes in the back, along with the separator cover and a whole bunch of things. And then we also have this that goes in the back as well on the driver's side. Pretty proud of myself. Thankful for my brother, one of my best friends, Alex, who came over, helped me a ton with this motor. Without them, none of this would have been possible. I would have been struggling by myself. We ordered a new piece from Import Image Racing. I have been ordering from them for quite a while just because they're local and they deliver next day just because they're local. So we ordered that. It's coming tomorrow, along with one more thing that we needed, which was the clutch alignment tool for the clutch. Okay, so lastly, we're putting this hose in. I figured out how to clamp this now. I clamped that bottom one just to test it out. So what I've used, these kind of cutters, they help out really good in this situation, and I think we're all set to go. I'm trying to figure out how this goes. Core plug right there, that plug there. We was able to get Brown's Performance timing guide in. Just want to represent them since this motor is built by them. She will be alive hopefully this weekend. Make sure you order, I think it's a downpipe to turbo gasket, cam bag gasket, and I think this is the up pipe to turbo gasket because they don't provide that for you. So we finally got the part in. Starting to look like a motor. I'm waiting on the clutch alignment tool that I ordered. It was supposed to arrive today, but they got delayed. So we're back. It's another day. It's Sunday. We had an issue. Our clutch alignment tool didn't come in on time. So we have 2 days to get this car running. Since, like I mentioned, they're about to redo the roads and I have to move the car. Can't move it right now because I'm only by myself and I don't have anybody else. My driveway is a hill, so I definitely need like 2 or 3 people to at least push the car to the driveway at least. But I don't have that manpower right now. This is our to-do list. Let's get this motor onto the crane and work on the rear, get that out of the way. Hopefully this all lines up so we can knock this out, put the motor in the car today. Doing this part, which I'm charging the GoPro, but I don't know if you can see it. Twisted over here. It's right there, that side. So I'm putting the O-ring. I was measuring it on that side, but it's actually on the back side of this. There you go. So let's put this in and let's continue. I ran to AutoZone to get some gray RTV. This one right here is gonna be 30 foot-pounds from what I've read. Alright, the part number is this. We finished both sides. I put some ultra gray around it and torqued these down to 4.7 foot-pounds from what I saw. Correct me if I'm wrong. Assuming these were these. I didn't really pay mind to it till now because look, they're literally identical. Alright, so I have a company 23 flywheel locker. So We're putting an ACT street light flywheel on this. I don't know what happened here, but this package got pretty messed up. Alright guys, so we have less than 48 hours to get this car running. Motor should be done today and in the car today. We're on our way to higher ground. Our friend Ken, he's gonna lend us a clutch alignment tool. For some reason, I don't know what happened. Basically, long story short, I have no clutch alignment tool in time. I had to get this car running by Wednesday. It's another day, Tuesday now. I didn't get to record a lot yesterday. I left the GoPro in the car, and then my wife went to soccer practice with my son, and the GoPro was in the car, and I was struggling to put the motor in. Good thing is that I was lucky enough for the motor to go in the first try without a problem. I had a neighbor help me out as well, and we was able to get the motor in. So everything's locked in. I think I put the 2 starter bolts reversed, so I gotta fix that. And now it's all about reassembling everything back today. Hopefully we can get it started later on today. What we have left is hoses, the manifolds all together, the alternator, intercooler, and I got the intake somewhere there. We have to unbolt the starter one more time because if you guys don't know, one bolt is longer than the other, and I was wondering why one bolt was still sticking out on the bottom because I put them in correctly. Keep in mind that the longer bolt goes in the top because it holds the bracket. These hoses real quick to give us clamps. I'm not sure if I really want to use them though because I'm not a big fan of these clamps. Whew, I'm sweating bullets. It's seriously hot right now. I'm trying to finish up. We're at the one of the last steps, the manifold. Got the gaskets. I'm gonna clean these up in the bottom real quick and place this over there. I had trouble with the downpipe. Put those on, tighten up the motor mount that I loosened yesterday. Excuse the sweatiness. My God, it's really hot out here. We have finalized the manifold. It is on the long block. The 2 headaches are done. Now it's about plugging everything back in. I'll put in the intake, intercooler, power steering, alternator, all just the major components. I'm having high hopes right now. I think we can do this. It is 4:58. I have maybe another 3 hours of daylight. Alright, so there's a blue plug and that's right here for the solenoid over here. There's a gray one in the back which connects, I think, to the cam position. There's this group of wires which go to the bottom. I don't know if you can see it because 2 of them are for the ignition coils, and I think 1 is for another sensor in the bottom. Okay, so we topped her out with fluids, and this is the moment of truth. perfectly running. WRX again. She's healthy. She's burped. She's good to go. We're gonna do one oil change real quick because that was just the starting oil. So we're gonna flush that down and put some break-in oil. These are all the bolts that was left behind. So this is the second start. The first time was a mass airflow sensor. Now that I have the garage clean, we're gonna bring her inside. So far so good. She sounds pretty healthy. I know she's a little shaky because the motor mount isn't all the way tightened. All right, we're getting her to operating temp. So far so good. That is all for this video. We have completed it. I'm gonna take another test run probably this weekend. There's a few kinks I gotta still fix on the car. We'll get back to you in no time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you want to see next.